What makes humans most terrifying? Their unnoticed power, Part 1. The sleek silver ship named Ecliptic Harmony floated in perfect silence high above the blue world called Earth. The ship belonged to the Coalition of Tranquil Species, a very old group of peaceful aliens who watched new worlds for thousands of years. Their job was simple. They studied young races. They decided if those races could join the big peaceful galaxy, or if they needed more time. Senior analyst Vexlar stood at the main viewing window. His body looked like clear crystal, with soft blue light moving inside it. He came from the Lyrathi people, who lived for many centuries, and thought very slowly and carefully. Around him, other coalition members worked at glowing panels. Some had soft jelly-like bodies, some had many thin arms, some floated without legs. All of them watched the same screens with calm faces. Today they looked at humans. Vexlar spoke in a smooth, calm voice. On every test we use, their bodies break easily. Their lives end too soon. They show no natural energy fields. Their minds jump from one idea to another without clear order. They fight among themselves all the time. This race will cause no trouble. We can guide them gently when we make first contact. A younger observer named Kalith moved closer. Kalith belonged to the empath species. Their skin changed color with feelings. Right now it showed pale green, which meant worry. Kalith pointed at one screen. The image showed a human worker on Earth. The man lifted a heavy metal beam with his arms and placed it on a tall building. His face looked red and sweaty, but he smiled and talked to his friends. Kalith said, "That worker looks happy, even though the work seems hard. Other species would feel pain and stop. Humans keep going. Why?" Vexlar made a soft sound like gentle wind over glass. That is their weakness. They push their weak bodies too far. They do not know when to rest. Will learn from us to move slowly and safely. Another analyst named Thrime joined them. Thrime had 6 long arms covered in golden fur. Thrime controlled the deep scans. Thrime said, "We see their cities. They build them fast, but they fall apart often. Their machines break. Their air becomes dirty. Their water turns bad. They make weapons that hurt their own people. This is not strength. This is chaos." Everyone nodded, except Kalith. Kalith watched another screen now. It showed human children playing in a park. They ran and laughed and fell down, then got up again. One small child tried many times to climb a tall slide. Each time the child slipped. Each time the child tried again. At last the child reached the top and shouted with joy. Kalith said, "They fail and they try again. They do not give up easily. Is that not a kind of power?" Vexlar turned his crystal head slowly. "No, that is childish behavior. Real power comes from perfect control and long, calm thought. Humans rush. Mistakes. They fix mistakes only to make new ones. We will teach them patience." The team spent many days watching more. Humans drove fast vehicles on crowded roads. They cooked food over open fire. They sang songs when they felt sad. They told stories to their young about brave heroes who fought big monsters. The stories always ended with the hero winning. Thrime recorded everything. Humans use simple tools. They improve those tools little by little over many years. No sudden great leaps. No perfect designs from the start. Just endless small changes. Vexlar felt satisfied. This race will follow our rules easily. They need our help. They will welcome our wisdom. Kalith stayed quiet, but the green on Kalith's skin grew darker. One night cycle, the ship picked up a strong signal from Earth. It came from a place called a news station. Humans spoke with loud voices about a big storm coming to their coast. Many people lived there. The storm would bring high water and strong wind. Vexlar watched humans move fast. They built walls from sand and rock. They carried old people to safe places. They filled bags with food and water. They helped strangers they never met before. Thrime said, "See, they prepare, but their preparations look weak. Sand walls will break. Small bags will not last. The storm will destroy much." Caliph said, "But they do not run away. They stay. They fight the storm with what they have." The storm arrived on the screen. Dark clouds covered the sky. Water rose high. Wind screamed through the streets. Humans lost homes. Humans lost friends. Yet other humans came with boats. They pulled people from water. They shared dry clothes. They gave food to hungry children. When the storm passed, humans started again. They cleared broken wood. They built new houses. They planted new trees. They laughed together at small jokes. Vexlar said, "Interesting. They recover quickly, but this changes nothing. Their bodies stay weak. Their lives stay short. Minds stay scattered." Caliph looked at Vexlar with bright eyes, now showing deep purple, which meant strong feeling. Caliph said, "What if their weakness makes them strong? What if they grow because they must fix things all the time? What if they never stop because they think they are not good enough?" Vexlar made the wind sound again. "That is fear talking, not logic. We have watched many young races. None acted like this, and none became a problem. Humans will join us. They will learn our way." The team turned back to their screens. They marked humans as safe for contact soon. They wrote reports that said low risk, low power, easy to guide. Deep inside the ship, a small warning light blinked once, then went dark. No one noticed. Caliph stayed at the window longest. Caliph watched one human on a beach. The human stood alone, looking at stars. The human whispered words too soft to hear, but Caliph felt them anyway. The feeling came clear and strong. "Want to know everything. I want to go out there." Caliph shivered. The purple on Caliph's skin turned almost black. Far below on the blue world, the human on the beach smiled at the sky. The human did not know anyone watched. The human did not know how strange that smile looked to ancient eyes. The ecliptic harmony waited in silence. The coalition thought they understood humans. They did not understand at all. But soon, they would learn. Many cycles passed on the ecliptic harmony. The coalition team kept watching Earth from their hidden place in space. Vexlar spent time reviewing old data. He felt calm and sure. Humans remained the same weak, scattered race. Nothing new appeared on the screens to change his mind. Then one quiet shift, a bright alert, flashed across the main panel. Thrime moved fast, with all 6 arms tapping controls. The alert came from a small moon far from Earth. Humans had built a mining base there years ago. The base sat on a rock called Luna 7. The humans dug deep for rare metals to make their ships stronger. Now, trouble came. A rogue stellar entity moved through the system. The entity looked like a huge storm made of living plasma. It burned hot. It twisted space around it. Coalition records called such things Tier 7 hazards. Very dangerous. Even coalition ships stayed far away when one appeared. The entity drifted straight toward Luna 7. In 3 standard days, it would reach them. Moon. The plasma storm would melt the mining base and kill everyone inside. Vexlar gathered the team. They watched the screens together. The coalition rule was clear. They never interfered with young races. They only observed. To help too soon could harm natural growth. Caliph asked, "Should we warn them? The humans do not see the danger yet. Their telescopes point mostly at stars, not at this small storm." Vexlar answered, "No, we watch. That is our task. If they die, we note it as a lesson for their species. If they live, we see how they handle danger." Thrime pulled up human communications. The miners talked fast on their radios. The government on Earth sent orders. "Evacuate now. Leave everything behind." Big transport ships would arrive in 5 days. The human leader on Luna 7 answered back, "No, we will not leave. This base took 10 years to build. We have families here. We have worked too hard." Vexlar felt a small surprise. Humans argued with their own leaders. That never happened. with other young races. The miners voted, they all chose to stay. They said, "We fix this ourselves." Calith's skin turned bright green with worry. They will die. The storm burns at millions of degrees. Their suits melt in seconds. Vexlar said, "Perhaps they learn hard lessons fast." The team watched without speaking. The humans moved with speed. They dragged big mining machines outside. They welded metal plates together. They pulled engines from old cargo ships. They worked day and night without much rest. One human engineer named Mara led the work. She drew plans on big flat screens. She talked loud and pointed. Mara said, "We make a magnetic shield. We use the big electromagnets from the deep drills. We link them to the fusion reactors. We push the plasma away like a boat pushes water." Other humans laughed at first. Then they listened. They started building. Thrime scanned the work. The design looked messy. Wires hung loose, metal bent in strange shapes. Coalition standards for safety or efficiency. Yet the humans kept going. They tested small parts. They failed many times. Sparks flew. Metal cracked. One test almost burned a whole section of the base. Still, they fixed it and tried again. Vexlar said, "This is pointless. The entity will pass through any shield they build. Their power is too small." Caliph said, "But look at their faces. They believe they can win." 2 days passed. The storm grew closer on the screens. Red and orange fire swirled in huge loops. The miners finished their device. They called it the deflector array. It looked like a giant ring around the base with thick cables running everywhere. Mara stood in front of her people. She spoke over the radio. "Earth, can you hear us? We are ready. Tell everyone back home, we love you." Voices from Earth answered with cheers and tears. The entity arrived. It filled the sky with light so bright, the screens turned white for a moment. Then, the storm hit the moon like a mirror. Wave of fire. The humans turned on their array. Blue magnetic fields snapped into place. The plasma pushed against the shield. It bent. It twisted. The shield held for 10 seconds, then started to crack. Vexlar leaned closer. "This is the end." But the humans did not stop. They ran to backup generators. They fed more power into the array. They shouted numbers and commands. One human fell from heat exhaustion. Others carried him away and kept working. The shield grew brighter. The plasma storm slowed. It pushed sideways instead of straight. The entity fought hard. It roared with energy that shook the moon. Yet little by little, the storm moved off course. After 1 full hour, the entity passed by Luna 7. It left the moon behind and drifted into deep space. The base stood, mostly. The shield burned out. Many machines melted. Some humans needed medical help, but the core buildings survived. The miners cheered. They hugged. They cried. They laughed loud. Mara sat on the ground, covered in black dust. She looked up at the stars and said, "We got lucky again." Her team agreed. Yes, luck saved us. Vexlar stared at the screen. He felt something strange inside his crystal body. Not fear, not yet, just a small cold feeling. Thrime spoke quietly. "They should have died. All logic says they die, yet they live." Caliph turned deep purple. "They think it was luck. They do not see what they did. They built something impossible with scrap and hope. They pushed their bodies past breaking. They refused to quit." Vexlar tried to stay calm. It was one event. Chance played a big part. Their device worked by accident. Thrime pulled new scans. The array used human math that coalition models called unstable. Yet it held against a Tier 7 force. The miners changed the design 10 times during the fight. Each change came from quick thinking under fire. Calith said, "They adapt faster when death comes close. Their minds speed up. Their bodies ignore pain." Them. Vexlar answered, "No race does this. Not like this." The team sat in silence. They watched the humans clean up. They saw Mara walk among her people. She checked wounds. She thanked workers. She planned repairs already. One miner said to Mara, "Chief, what if another storm comes?" Mara smiled. "We build better next time." Vexlar felt the cold feeling grow. He spoke to the team. "We file this as anomaly. Not threat, not yet. We keep watching." Kalith looked at Vexlar with steady eyes. "What if this happens again, and again, and they keep winning?" Vexlar made no answer. Deep in the ship another warning light blinked twice, then stayed dark longer. No one saw it yet. On the moon, Mara looked at the stars again. She whispered, "Thank you for letting us stay." She did not know eyes from far away watched her. She did not know the watchers started to feel something new. Doubt. The ecliptic harmony stayed quiet. The coalition thought one victory changed everything. Nothing. They were wrong. The humans had only started.